Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now.
Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing four series in the opening round of the 2014 NHL playoffs right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Of course, you all know who Joe Duffy is by now. Some of you might not know that he covers hockey quite extensively. Joe, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, from a pure standpoint of a fan, I love the NHL playoffs as much as anything.
All right. Well, Joe Duffy's website is OffshoreInsiders.com, and we'll see what you can tell us about some of these series. Now, I'll tell you, I usually love to bet the NHL playoffs, and this year, like every series is fascinating from a handicapping perspective. I'm not sure as of yet that I'm seeing any clear value except for one series. We'll start right now with Columbus and Pittsburgh, and this is a tough series to handicap, right? The Penguins are minus 227 to win. Of course, they have home ice. Blue Jackets plus 203. And, you know, Pitt 5-0 against Columbus during the regular season, but it's the same deal with Pitt every year, right? They play that flashy, high-powered offensive style that's so great in the regular season, and every year in the playoffs, they underwhelm, underperform, and tank. Maybe this year their expectations are down a little bit. Marc-Andre Fleury, if he comes in and saves, 82% of the goals, obviously they're going to lose. And the Blue Jackets are, sort of one of these teams. You never know how tough of a challenge they're going to give the Penguins. The Blue Jackets play a very physical game, and they're anchored by an awesome goaltender. So at these lines, I have no opinion as of yet. What do you think, Joe Duffy?
Now, you're right. The Pittsburgh, really the key is Fleury, as you said, each of the last 2 years, he was pathetic in the playoffs, and especially last year. So the key for Pittsburgh is to really get some confidence under Fleury, because they certainly have the offensive talent, but it's not so much that they play bad defense. But Fleury, a guy who, a couple of years ago was excellent in the playoffs, each of the last 2 years, he's been a disaster. But the Blue Jackets have a similar situation with Sergei Bobrovsky. He's a heck of a goaltender, but with Philadelphia a few years ago, he also was atrocious. Yes. So really the key here is whoever gets the better goaltending. They have two pretty talented goaltenders, but two goaltenders whose confidence seems to be so-so in the playoffs. And Pittsburgh had trailed only 56 seconds in the 5 games in the series this year. So that certainly tells you that Pittsburgh is the better team. But Sergei Bobrovsky, he only played one game because of injury. So he only played in one of the 5 games. And what is interesting is that Columbus actually outshot Pittsburgh in the series. So you figure if Bobrovsky can stay healthy and play as well as he has during the regular season the past couple of years, they may have the edge in goal. And the reason they didn't have it during the regular season is because Bob was hurt for 4 of the 5 games. So all in all, am I going to predict the underdog to win this if I were, on ESPN and I wasn't betting against the odds? No, but I will say they have some pretty good value as an underdog.
Really? So if you had to bet a side here on the to win the series at the current lines, you would take the Blue Jackets at plus 203.
Yeah, I do think that the Blue Jackets are probably the better value, but at the same time, Columbus, they have their share of injuries. Nick Foligno and R.J. Umberger, they're doubtful for Game 1. Now, they might be back before the series is over, where, on the other hand, where Pittsburgh is going to get Chris Letang back. He missed quite a few games this year. So, it is tough to flat out say that Columbus should be the favorite here, but getting 2-1, it's a pretty interesting dog, especially when, it fits in the term that I use in just about every single sport with the goaltenders here. Predictably unpredictable. We're going with the big underdog as usually a high percentage play.
And I guess the only other question I have is, the Blue Jackets' physicality. Typically in the playoffs, when you have one of these, physical teams, especially if they're a big underdog, playing against one of these, more finesse and offense skill-oriented teams, the gritty, physical underdog is usually the team with the value, and I guess that's what we have here, right?
Now, and they can be much more aggressive. They do have 13 guys without playoff experience. They're probably going to suit up 13 guys in Game 1 who have never played in a playoff game before, but really a way to get rid of those jitters, you're right, is to go out and throw the body and to try to get physical against, a Pittsburgh team. Remember, they've had their share of injuries not only this year, but that's been really the problem with Crosby. He's been hurt in the playoffs. I know he's had a few concussions, and Evgeny Malkin, he missed 11 games this year. Recently, he just went in a stretch where he missed 11 games. So, yeah, look, Columbus, they're probably going to take some liberties and maybe try to take out a couple of the Penguins. But I do agree with you. The key for Columbus is probably to get very physical.
All right. Thanks for your thoughts, Joe.